procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone, and happy New Year to all of you. Happy 2023. This is my co-host, Crystal, and I, Coach Gilbert Buchanan. And look like my co-host is having a little glitch there in our transmission.
I think I'm
There,
back now. There you
there
go.
she is. She's back. Happy New Year, co-host.
Happy
Happy New
New Year.
Year.
How's everything and how are
Oh,
you? And
oh man, I'm doing good. Looking forward to this 2023. Looking forward to making some money, some real money this year. So,
okay.
so let's see what we can tackle and take on and win and win.
And when yeah, I'm excited about 2023 as well. 2022 wasn't bad. I don't have any misgivings.
That's true.
Um
It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I had a great time. Obviously, you guys know I did a lot of traveling,
Oh
and
yeah.
so that was wonderful. Hey, Greg. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey
Um,
Jasmine and Greg, welcome to the Business Zone. Happy New Year, guys.
yeah, so that was great. But even business wise, my marketing has started to finally pay off. So I'm, became
Mm.
recognized as the expert in whatever this area I'm in.
I
So
love it.
that was good. So I'm looking forward to 2023. Got some other good things up and we've talked about some stuff. I
Mhm.
would like this year to be the year that we get an outline down for a book. I'd like for us to have a book published by the end of the year, but I'll take an outline.
Well, I'm serious about it too. So I am ready, man. We already got the content. We got all the content we need. So just we
Ex-
just we just gotta get it structured, organized, and do it.
Right, exactly. I mean, I know several people last year that actually were able to create to launch their book, and I'm like, whoa, wait,
Yeah.
and
What about me?
and these are people that I'm coaching. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So man, we got to take our own advice, man. Jump on the ball, and you see the thing about it though, Crystal. See, as coaches, we're more inclined to help the client more than helping ourselves, and that happens so many times. So this year we're gonna set aside some time for ourselves and get that book going.
That's what I say. We're gonna make that happen. So I'm excited about this year. And I took some time out to rest over the holiday season, which was a first for me. I went out of town. Hey Michelle, Happy New Year, everyone. I went out of town for New Year's and I did not even take my computer with me, Gilbert.
I hear you,
And
man.
so
I
that
hear
way
you.
I was assured that I wasn't going to do any work.
Well, you're following your principles. That's good. I love it. I love it. Our field correspondents, Mr. Greg Sneed, said they might be broke, but they got a book. I'll take the loot over the book.
Well, I'm gonna have to loot as well, Greg. But I think you have to have, you too, Greg. I think you should put that on your list as well. You can't be in business as long as we have and not have something with your, as they say, you can't die with the book inside of you.
I know. I think he would do a good job with a book, man. Based on all that institutional knowledge that he's got upstairs here, man, you should definitely do it, Greg.
And his humor.
Oh yeah. And Miss Michelle Morbell, welcome to the Business Zone and Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for joining us.
You're right. So glad to have you guys. So, we're gonna have a great show today. It's the very first show of the year, and so of course we have to talk about planning. We have to talk about strategy, and we have to talk about execution and actually success for the year. So we would
This
not be
is
the business zone if we didn't.
This is called class in session, guys. So we're starting the new year with class in session. So we're going to be rolling out some steps, some tips, and some pointers to you today. And hopefully it will be beneficial to you and help kickstart you with the new year and your planning. So that's what we're doing, guys.
That's Greg says his word for this year is preparedness. I love it. I love it.
That's my favorite word, man. Preparedness and readiness. That's my preparedness, my
Right.
special word.
All right. So we're going to talk about that's what we're going to talk about and get us all set up and planned. I believe it was two shows. I think it was early part of December. You actually talked about the recession
Yeah,
and when it was coming. It's
yeah,
being predicted for the second and third quarter of this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
So that means we have to be prepared. So
yeah.
preparedness is a good word, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And readiness. He said Gilbert's favorite word is dinner.
Hey, Greg, you missed my birthday, man. Where were you? We were at the Jamaican restaurant, me and Crystal, man. We were eating up a storm on my birthday. Where
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah, we went over to Little Kingston. But yeah, so we're gonna get to help you guys, hopefully guide you and get you on the right track to being ready for whatever's going to happen this year. But y'all, all you have to do is prep for it, and you should be ready for it. So that's what I say.
Well, I just want to roll it out there, guys, to let you know that we're leading by example. And so far, I've gotten two contracts already for this year, 2023. So we're just getting ready for our start date now, and these are government contracts. That's the only kind of contracts I mess with right now. Because those are the only ones that are sustainable. You get a private contract, it's kind of wishy-washy. The economy get a little hiccup when they say, oh, sorry, can't continue this contract, don't have any money. But with the government, they have to do that. So we're good to go, guys. You want to get those
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah, I got I picked up a couple of new contracts at the end of last year. So now, navigating through, and I had a pretty interesting phone call this morning. As I do my due diligence this weekend, I'll share it next week, but it might be an opportunity. There's a group that's looking to lead the way in bringing women together to help women build their power and their strength, and it's kind of an empowerment center. So I'm going to see what that looks like, but I still got due diligence to do before I decide that's what I want to do.
Sound like a
And
plan to me.
so Gilbert, what were your takeaways from 2022?
Oh man, from 2022, looking at it, I kind of run out of time. There's so many things I wanted to do. So my takeaway is to make sure I review my plan and my strategies for 2023 and make sure that it includes a lot of growth, a lot of expansion. And I think what we're going to cover today, which will be some of those key strategic action item steps, will really help. So putting that plan together, looking at our KPI, which are our key performance indicators, and make sure every day or every week we look at those and see if we're actually doing those and do them. So that's my takeaway, man.
Okay, I agree. I think uh, um I was really pleased with some of the outcome from a lot of the clients that I worked with this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have really made some major strides, and so I'm so proud of them. Miss Ardina Brooks, she's on the line. She's one of them.
All
she
right,
she has worked
Ardina,
hard.
welcome to the business zone.
Ardina actually got a book out last year, and so
Yes.
I was really proud of her. We basically got her financials. We got almost we just 2 seconds away from from being complete. She'll be ready for her taxes this year early. So good job, Miss Ardina.
Hey, Ardina, go ahead and put the title of your book in the chat there so we can share it and brag about you. You know we love to brag about you here at the Business Zone.
Right. And
Yeah,
we're gonna have her on the show to talk about her business, but also to talk about her book. That was she I think she kicked that out in November, I believe, right,
yeah.
Ardina?
I
Yes.
was so proud of her, man. She didn't waste time either. She jumped in there and did it. I said, man, look at her go. I love that.
Well, she actually worked with she and Tanya Mackey. They actually did it together. Tanya had a program going on last year called Women Worthy of Wealth, and so they met every once a month, I believe, and
Hmm.
really talked about the ways of increasing their revenue and setting up their financial structures to increase revenue, but also to plan for the future. She put her book in the chat. It's called The Impact of One Voice, and
Hmm.
so you guys can go over to Amazon, I believe, and pick it up.
Yeah.
And so she did some good stuff this year. So kudos.
I'm very proud of her, man. We've been working with Ardina for a few years now, and she's been every year she's been following our principles, our guidance, and getting there step by step. And 2022 was the year for her. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. She's a co-author with 20 other people, and that's a good way to do a book. And so
Yeah,
is to jump in there, do a chapter with some other people. So
yeah,
Tanya was at the head of moving them along, and so I'm
yeah,
very, very proud of her. And there's a number of others that have been on our show and that you've coached and I've coached, and they made some major strides. So really proud of them. My takeaway for 2022 was mine's was about what we talked about for majority of the year, was creating and establishing that work-life balance.
yes,
um I start implementing a lot of that into my life. I will say this is one thing I will say. um I had physical this year, and all of a sudden, you know how they do a physical. It's like they're doing a search mission, right? And so they're looking for something, and so they're gonna come up with a whole lot of stuff before they actually rule the stuff out. So there was a couple of things that was like, oh wait. But I think Oprah said this. Oprah said, one way to get control of your health is for them to tell you you might have a lifelong illness. At that point, you get real serious
That's
about
true. That is
maintaining
true.
and taking care of self. So
Yeah,
that was really important. And I did have a little blood pressure scare there for a minute.
yeah, yeah,
And it was all about, for me,
yeah,
changing how I eat, but
yeah,
also making sure that I make time for exercise, which
yeah,
for a minute there I wasn't. It used to be a valuable part of my my daily activities, and then all of a sudden I was piling work on, and I just would fill in that space with a client. So now I have blocked out time that's just for me, and I am now making sure I reduce stress, and I create a balance for work, life, relationships, things like that, because I think it's very important. I can't. We can be rich as we want to be, but damn, if we don't have any money, if you don't have the wealth of
and the
your
health.
health,
Yeah,
it don't matter how much
if
money you have.
if the health is not there, man, it's no use. And the thing about that is, one of the things that you and I have been talking about is to start weeding out folks who bring stress into your life, and that could mean friends, family members, it could be clients, associates. We got to rule them out, man, because we don't want them driving up our blood pressure, and that blood pressure it could very well lead to strokes, and we don't want those. So I got I before I move further, our field correspondent, Dr. Greg Sneed, said put everything that's bad on the table first, then start ruling
Yeah,
things out. So
that's what doctors do. They put everything on the table. They were looking for everything for me, and it's
yeah,
like, what? what the heck kind of disease is this? Oh no, we
Yeah.
ain't. I am not embracing none of that. So when it was all said and done, all I needed to do was take calcium twice a day. Like, all
Yeah.
right, not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did my physical 2 days ago also, man. Went to the doctor, and man, they just like you said, they did all these tests. They did the PSA, they did the EKG, the urine tests, all of that stuff, and we got to do some more next week again. So even though I want to do it just to have a sound mind and say, yeah, did it and I'm good, it's still a little scary because you're going, I don't want to find out anything. I don't want to know anything,
Right,
So,
exactly. 'Cause like Ray said, they put everything on the table, and
oh,
then
yeah.
then
Oh,
they
yeah.
start to peel it back. So I
Oh,
got the
yeah.
peel back.
Yeah, he did give me a little good news though. He said, "Man, your blood pressure is much better. It's like 20 points lower than the last time." So
Oh,
I'm
that's
going,
good.
"Damn." Oh yeah, last time, man, I was in stroke territory. I'm going,
Yeah.
"Damn." And then with some of the clients that I have, they were just driving me bunkers, and I'm going, "Man." Because even though, when you try to explain a process to a client and you do it over and over, you've got it written, right? And
Yeah.
you're sharing it with them, and they're not listening, they're not following at all.
Right, exactly. More stress.
Yes, so that's what was happening. So I was happy to hear that the blood pressure was down. So
And I think
yeah.
you learned to say no this year, last
Oh
year.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's part of it, learning to say no, knowing
Oh
when you're at
yeah.
your capacity and like,
Yes.
sorry, can't go further.
Yeah, there were quite a few clients I said no to last year, man, because I had to, because they were not coachable, they were not listening, and they just a lot of our clients, Crystal, they're listening to those street corner consultants who don't know anything about business, and then they're taking those advice from those street corner consultants and coming to us and say, well, a friend of mine said, and you're going, where did you get that information from? Well, my friend said, who's your friend? Is your friend a business coach? Is your friend a practitioner in this space? No. So where did they get their qualifications from? So man, it was hilarious.
Right. So we have to learn to stop taking, we can only do what we can do. They will respond only to what they will respond to. And so at that point we can keep reiterating it. I know you're looking at Greg. Greg the jester says that they told him he was pregnant, but he realized that it was his Thanksgiving dinner.
He is hilarious, man. He is hilarious.
So in addition to what we're going to talk about today, guys, we do want you to make sure that you're taking care of your health, because no matter how much money you make, if you're not well, you cannot spend the money. And I think even Steve Jobs said that. He says, I'm a very wealthy man, but when he actually was diagnosed with cancer, he says, what did it mean? What did all of that wealth really mean to me at
Yeah,
that point in time?
exactly.
And so then he died.
Yeah,
And that was one of his takeaways, that it really, having money doesn't eliminate you from poor health. And once you
yeah,
have poor health, then it really will change your life. And so you're
yeah.
right, Greg. Physical health, mental health, and financial health should be at the forefront of all of our plans and all of our goals, even before we get to our business. And that was my takeaway from 2022, was that my health has to be a priority. My
Yeah.
mental wellness has to be a priority. And I have to take out time to de-stress, relax, and rejuvenate and
Hmm.
restore. Those are the
But
things that I took away.
you did better than me though, because you were like our international correspondent out there in the world, sharing the wealth of knowledge and having fun at the same time, man. You were the queen of Egypt. You were the queen of South Africa. You were, where else did you go? You went
Uh,
to
uh,
all these different
Greg,
countries.
I became the queen of Kwanzaa.
The Queen of Kwanzaa, man, you were all over, man. I'm going, man. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, co-host.
And I did all that embracing. I embraced all, yeah, Kwanzaa. I embraced all that probably about the second half of the year, and I just like all of a sudden I just switched on a button and said I am going to be a yes person. So when
Yeah,
it comes to travel, I'm gonna go out there and I'm going to embrace that. You know, I'm gonna work hard, make the money, and then I'm gonna go and do that. I don't have children. It's like, what am I waiting for, right?
yeah,
So I don't want to sit
exactly.
back and say, "Wow, I wish I had done that."
Right.
So yeah, South Africa and Egypt
Oh,
last
oh,
year.
I forgot. You also did the Balloon Fest in Temecula. That's
Oh,
another
I
one you
did
did.
I did the
Yeah,
balloon. Yeah, I did do the balloon thing in
yeah.
January.
Oh, and you went to Vegas too. Look at
Oh, and I went to Vegas too.
that,
And, and
man.
for New Year's, I was in San Diego. So
Oh
I did
man,
some stuff. I love San Diego. It was a beautiful place. I got to
yeah,
learn more about I went on this was something interesting before we jump into our topic.
yeah,
I went to visit a friend in San Diego that's retired military.
yeah,
And so he took me on a tour all
yeah,
around. So I
yeah.
actually went on an aircraft carrier, the
Get
Midway.
out! You got on that aircraft carrier. I always wanted to get on that.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it was very enlightening, first of all,
Yes,
how
yes,
they live, because you only hear what you hear, right? So going
yes,
into the ship, going into the aircraft carrier, seeing all the aircraft on, and
yeah,
learning about what our military really does for us,
man,
and
it's
um
amazing.
yeah, so that was fun. So anybody that's going to San Diego, go check out the Midway Museum. It was absolutely enlightening.
Yeah,
We stayed at Humboldt, no, Humphrey Half Moon Bay in Shelter
mhm,
Island. Beautiful place. That's where we spent New Year's
yeah.
Eve, and it was awesome. But we went on the military base, got to see all of the aircraft, all of the everything. So,
Mhm.
and San Diego is like the best place in the world for that because that's really what they are. They are actually a military town. So,
That's it's San Diego is an amazing military history, man. And
yeah,
we don't talk much about that. Maybe we should feature that on one of our shows. Let's talk about San Diego because it's got a rich history, and many of the contracts that you get down there are military based contracts.
yeah.
So,
Because
you know,
it truly is more so than Long Beach and Alameda,
yeah,
which is up here, but
yeah,
down there,
hmm,
everything is about the military. Everywhere you
yeah.
see is about the military, and I was just impressed. And then right behind that, so we went on the aircraft carrier, the museum, and then I went to see the movie Devotion, which was about the first African American. He was the aviator, and he was actually the first aviator that died in the Korean War. And
Oh
so I
wow,
actually got to see how they really lived. Because one of the things I said to my friend, I said, how the heck when you guys have to race up from the bottom from your bunk area and get
yeah,
up to the top of the deck
yeah,
and be
right,
able to move like that,
yeah,
do you
yeah.
not jump over those lips and break your neck? How do you do that?
Man, that takes practice, man, and they do that every day. Greg said that he was on the USS Intrepid in New York City. I went on that. I think I went on that one, Greg. I went on the USS Intrepid in New York. I went on a vacation thing, and you went on there. You did the
Yeah,
tour,
so I
but
said go down to San Diego. So yeah, that was my year. So I had a really good time, all the way through to December 31st. I had a awesome
man,
vacation.
that sounds great, man. So
Yeah,
see, you were doing what I should be able to do. So so that's good. At least one of us did it.
yeah.
At
So
least one of
next
us
year,
did.
and
Yeah,
Michelle says traveling. She's traveling a different lifestyle road next year. I know I
yeah,
talked to Tanya Mackey. She's getting ready to get back on the road with travel.
Yeah,
She took a break, well, because she had no choice because of COVID, but she's
yeah,
going back to her travels. And I talked to
yeah.
so many people that had saw my pictures online. So a whole bunch of people gonna show up in South Africa this next year.
That's great, Ben. And not only do we want to show up, we also want to establish business linkage with those businesses down there, so we can conduct some business with them as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
gonna be great.
All righty.
So
We at, and he said
today
I'm an urban farmer. Yes, and then I incorporated farming into my whole world.
That's right. That's right.
All righty, we ready to jump into our topic?
Oh yes, our amazing topic for today: New Year, a new plan, new strategy. Let's check it out.
All righty. So here's the deal, guys. One of the things that we really want to go back to, as Gilbert and I just did, and you guys should be doing the same thing, is what were some of the lessons learned that you took away from not just 2021. 21 was really 2022 was really our first year back after the pandemic. There was so many other things that were going on politically. It was a complete upheaval in 2021. The elections were paramount. We got some wins. Right now, I don't know if the rest of you guys have been watching the opening of Congress and the House, and they can't come up with a speaker, and they didn't just taken that and made that a circus. So our government is kind of like circus like right now.
That's a nightmare right there, man. They voted like well, how many times? 14,
uh
15 times.
14 times this
and
morning.
and they still can't come up with a speaker because the other side, they're in turmoil. I mean, they
Yes,
should be able to easily win the speakership because they've got the numbers, but they're fighting against each other, and that's
they're
what
right.
happens.
And that's what we're going to talk about as well, is making sure that your leadership and you're being accountable for your actions. That's part of what we're going to talk about. But one of the things that we should be able to go back and look back at the last, and I want to say go back to 2020. I know we want to all blink and wish that went away, but 2020 was very important. And the reason why it was very important was we were not ready for the crisis that took place in 2020.
Right.
Right? We didn't have our business stuff in place. We were not business ready. We're not bank loan ready. We weren't grant ready,
Hmm.
and you definitely weren't contract ready. So that's one of
Right.
the things we want to talk about this year, is what happened in 21, 2021, 22, and why you have to be ready in 23 for the next crisis, which is probably going to be the recession that's going to be rolling in here probably about late second quarter, early third quarter. So we don't want to
Right.
be caught unaware at all. So we're going to talk about and that will be some new obstacles. So first thing first, we're going to talk about 7 steps that we need to have in place to be ready for the new year. We have to have a new plan to go along with the new year.
Right. Sounds good to me.
All righty. So, first step is, how far are you guys? What was your vision from when you launched your business to where your business is today? Are you still in alignment with the vision that you had for your business? I think that you have to take stock of where you started, so you can see, because one of the things, whatever the mission and the vision of our business was, we wanted to stay, you have to stay in line with that and stay on track with that, so that when you start to build on your goals, you have a starting point. Would you agree, Gilbert?
I totally agree. And one thing I want to put out there, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they confuse mission and visions all the time. So I just want to help to define what a vision is.
Okay.
A vision is the process by which someone views. You imagine when you're visioning something, it's like you're looking into the future, you're looking far away. It's the same thing with a vision of your business. Where do you see your business? How do you see your business and doing what? So If you want to envision your business as being at the forefront in the marketplace over the next 5 to 10 years, then you want to state that in your vision that you see yourself as being one of the top performers in the marketplace doing whatever you do, and what percent of the marketplace you're thinking you want to occupy. So whether you want to occupy 5, 10, 15, 20% of the marketplace, that's your vision. And just remember, your vision is never wrong, because that's how you see it. Now the key thing is, if you envision your company or your business or yourself being in a certain place a certain time within a certain time frame, then you got to put plans in place to make that happen. And that's how the vision gets tied into your mission. So I just wanted to do that quick explanation, folks, so you understand what your vision should be.
Exactly. And so if you look back at your vision and it's a bit outdated, remember a lot of our businesses were started 20, 30 years ago. Um, so we may have diverted a little bit from that vision, or that vision may not be pertinent today in today's highly technical world that we live in. When we look at the future, we're looking at artificial intelligence. We're looking at all of that. So if you haven't automated your business, you have not increased your information or your skill sets, and you haven't built on those skill sets since you started your business, one of your goals, and so that's the other part of this, is creating long-term goals and short-term goals. One of those is to invest in your personal development,
Right,
your skill sets, being able to learn new skills. Because I will tell you, I don't want a client telling me, but I don't know how to do that,
right,
because
right,
in today's world, there are so many ways, both um, costly ways and very, very low cost ways to increase your skill set. You have to be in the now. You have to develop skills that will take your business to the next level. And you being behind the times with your computer skills, your technical skills, your knowledge skills is not going to cut it for the future. You have to start to invest in your own self.
And like I mentioned earlier, guys, your vision is tied to your mission. So we just outlined to you what the vision is and what it should look like. Now let's tie this into your mission now, right? Your mission is your purpose in life. So whether you're an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, your purpose is to solve a problem, a pain in the marketplace. And that's how it works in business. So that mission statement should define what an organization like yours is about, why it exists, the reason for being, and at a minimum, your mission statement should define who your primary customers are. It should identify your product, your services, the ones you produce, and how you describe your geographic location and your place, how you're going to solve the pain in the marketplace. So let's say, for example, let's say Crystal's mission is, I want to be a champion bookkeeper in the marketplace, right? So she's going to say, well, I want to be a champion bookkeeper in the marketplace to solve bookkeeping issues for small businesses so that they can become competent and operate confidently within their own organization so they can achieve success or achieve contracts. So you see how I put that, the mission? That's how I want you guys to look at it. There has to be an outcome in your mission when you're talking about. So my focus is this. Focus is bookkeeping. Who are you targeting? Or I'm targeting small businesses. How are you going to help them? I'm going to help them to make their books right so they're able to go after contracts and become successful. That's the mission in a nutshell.
Exactly. So that's really being business ready, right? Making sure, and
Yes.
part of business readiness is making sure you have the financial documentation that is going to be required. If someone's to ask you for that, you have to have it. Not getting to it, but already have it in place, and not finding out how much money you made at the end of the year when you do your taxes, or actually the beginning of the next year, you already need to know by the time you got to December 31st, you actually hit the mark of
Yeah.
what you had forecast for the year before. And so now we should be forecasting for this new year 2023, and know all along every quarter exactly if you're on target and if you have to make some adjustments. So those are but as Gilbert said, staying in line with the vision of your business. And I love the fact that Greg talked about, you want to be able to make sure you're providing a solution to the problems that
Yes.
are out there. We
Yeah.
all can have fantastic business ideas, but if nobody needs what you are selling, then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to hit those revenue milestones because nobody needs your business. So you got to
Yeah.
be providing the solution for a very targeted group of people who has the problem and they need your solution.
And the key thing to this is because some people they write their mission statement, they write their vision statement, and that's it. They wrote it in their business plan and they don't look at it ever again. That's not how we do it, folks. Once you write your vision and your mission statement, you got to revisit that every year. See, like how we're beginning 2023 right now. That's when you want to revisit that vision statement and that mission statement to make sure that the vision statement is actually in line with what you're envisioning in the marketplace, and make sure the mission statement is in line with what your desired outcome is going to be for your purpose.
Actually, and yeah, exactly. And have short-term goals and long-term goals so that you can actually accomplish those goals. So short-term that leads into and ties into the long-term goals, and that by the time we get to the end of this year, we can look back and go, oh wow, hit that target, hit that target, hit that target, and we want to stay on top of that. Not so. This is what we're saying is not working in your business, but working on your business. Not so down in the trenches that you cannot recognize what's happening
Yes.
until it's all said and done at the end of the year. We
Right.
need everyone's goal is to be working on our business.
Right. 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 Just love that. Love it.
Love that. So next, now this is Gilbert's favorite topic right here.
That's right.
He
That's
has two
right.
favorite topics, but this one for sure is his favorite topic is performing your SWOT analysis. So Gilbert,
Yeah.
you want to tell them what that is?
Okay. So a SWOT is a process by which a small business or an entrepreneur, they look at or examine the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threat within their business. Therefore, it's called a SWOT. So S for strengths, S for strength, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So that's how you come up with that SWOT. It's a very, very valuable tool in every business because what this does is when you identify, and your SWOT is always structured in a quadrant, a four sector quadrant. So you've got two boxes up top and two boxes down below, right? So the one on the first left corner is your strength. The one on the right side is your weakness. The one down below on the left side is opportunities. The one on the lower right side is the threats. So what you want to do is you want to look at all the strengths that you believe exists within your business. And those strengths could be personal expertise. So you may have some expertise. Maybe you're smart in a certain way. Maybe you've written some codes. You can write programs, and you write a book that can teach people. Those are all strengths. And their business may have been around for a while, so that has some strength and expertise to it as well. So you may have a team of employees who are very sharp too. So those are strengths within your business to help you solve that problem in the marketplace that you're going to solve. And then the weaknesses, I'm going to do strengths and weaknesses, and then Crystal and I will do the opportunities and threats.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the strengths. Now the weaknesses, or any type of weakness that may exist, you may not have a certain expertise. Like, for example, many small businesses, their weakness is the accounting part, the money part of the business. That's usually a weakness for many small businesses. They don't do proper bookkeeping. They don't count their money. Then then at the end of the year, when taxes come around, like now, when you got to get ready to file your taxes, you start scrambling around trying to find your receipts and all of that. That's a weakness. So then down below, you're going to come up with the opportunities of how to solve those weaknesses. So that may be one. You may not have certain expertise in certain area. You may not be ready for government contracts. You may not be ready for certifications because there are certain documents missing, or you may not have been in business long enough. So those are some weaknesses that you could possibly identify within your business. And I'm sure there's others too. Maybe you're not addressing a customer need the right way. Maybe customer service skills maybe needed to be developed. All of those things. So those are the strengths on one side, what you have and what you can demonstrate to help your clients. And on the weaknesses, you don't have enough expertise in certain area. You don't have certain resources available to you. So, co-host, you want to touch on opportunities and threats?
Right. And I want to add to the weaknesses, if you need to develop more other skill sets that will help you be prepared and be ready for those opportunities. And so those
Mm-hmm.
opportunities are new clients, new contracts. You may be asked to present or to share your skills, or to uh, you may have a new client that's looking for large capacity delivery of a product of yours, but you can't be getting ready.
Right.
When they come to you, you have to already be ready. So you have to have the fortitude and the foresight to say these opportunities, and to be able to recognize the opportunities when they've been presented to you, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
those are opportunities. So anything that can help you expand your business, help you increase your revenue goals, or reach your revenue goals, those
Mm-hmm.
are what our opportunities are. Or there may be some opportunities to partner with someone in the
Yep.
marketplace,
Yep.
and you need to make sure your business is strong, so when you partner up with someone else's business, you're not going to be pulling some, you're going to be able to pull your own weight, basically, right?
Establish
So
certain network that can help you as well.
right, your network, opportunities where you can actually step out beyond your competitor, because you have some new technology or a new way of doing things, or you've just been introduced to a new target audience that will really take you to that next level, helping you be
Mm-hmm.
able to scale your business. So those are opportunities, and we should always be out on the lookout for opportunities. And I'm going to say this to you. Last night I did a class for the New Women's Business Center. And one of the things, and I'm talking to new business owners, startup businesses, right? So one of the things I always talk about is the 10 fears that can derail a new business owner, right? A new
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur just stepping out there into the space.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is being fearful, right? Being fearful that you're going to fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and not being aware of what opportunities are there. So I tell them that opportunities can appear in a blink of an eye,
Yeah.
right? And opportunities don't come back around, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
right.
true.
An opportunity will show itself. It's not going to wait for you to be ready. You
Yeah.
need to be ready already, because it may not ever come back around to you.
And a quick example to that, co-host, is in 2020 when we had the pandemic, many small businesses were not prepared, they were not ready. So as a result, they missed the opportunity that were available to them in the form of grants or in the form of low interest loans that could help them to grow their business. So those are opportunities that many small businesses miss. And as a result of that, 40,000 of those small businesses went out of business because they didn't know what to do, didn't have help, weren't prepared, their paperwork wasn't in order, so they succumbed to those weaknesses that occurred. So So your weaknesses, you should look at your weaknesses, how they are and how they exist, and you got to be honest and real about it, right? List them. You want to list at least 12 to 15 weaknesses. You might say, I don't have any weaknesses. Every business has a weakness, okay? Part of my weakness is, bookkeeping and all. I don't do bookkeeping. That's Crystal's thing. So I generally shift my stuff to her and get some review from her and oversight to make sure I'm doing it right. So that's something. But once you identify the weakness, then you try to find opportunities that will outdo those weaknesses.
Exactly. And as Greg says, you sometimes don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So
That's
you
true.
want to make sure that you're coming correct in the beginning. And I will say, ever since that opportunity, Gilbert, when you had that contract and you met me in the hallway of the Urban
Yeah,
League and asked me
yeah,
did I want to teach a class at Mount Sac, and
yeah.
I at that point didn't even know what Mount Sac was, but I was ready.
See, that's the thing we try to teach our small businesses. Always be in the ready position because you never know what opportunity may come. And see, Crystal was ready. See,
I was ready, man.
she,
Sure, I don't know what it means, but yeah, I'm ready.
she didn't know where the opportunity was, but she said, "Hey, I'll find where there's opportunity. I'm gonna take care of it," and she did. So, and she did a great job. She did an amazing job, guys. And I'm not just saying this because she's my co-host and I'm trying to make her feel good. She had a 99% success rate in that program that we were contracted for. Nobody else has had that success. So, Crystal, kudos to you, co-host.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's what we call about being prepared and ready. The other part is the threat. So in business, there's always threats. Pandemic was a threat.
Yep.
Uh, it
Yep.
was it was a threat. The recession can be a threat. So
Yep.
being
Yep.
ready and making sure you understand where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, what opportunities can present themselves to you so that you can sidestep that threat or minimize that threat to your business, that you don't become one of those casualties of the 400,000 businesses that actually had to shut their doors. Not so rising interest rates. You're right, absolutely correct, Greg.
Yep. Yep.
um and I'm going to jump into Greg's space for a minute. You're saying that you don't understand finances, or you don't like the finance part of your business, or you don't
Yeah.
like the accounting part of your business.
Right.
Not understanding money, that's
Mm-hmm.
a threat for you, my people.
Yep. Yep.
Because
Yep.
if we don't change that narrative, especially in our minority community, we have to change the narrative that we don't understand finances. There
Right.
is so much information out there for you. You could spend one instead of doing a binge on on a television show, do a binge on YouTube and learn everything you need to understand about
Yeah.
how money works and
Yeah.
how you can make money work for you. Now
Yeah.
that's a worthwhile binge.
Yeah, and many of you are visual instead of auditory. So for you to listen to something, it might be difficult, but if you watch the video, it may make sense to you. Watch some videos on your finances. There are three financial statements you small businesses need to know about in your business. You need your balance sheet, you need your profit and loss, and your statement of cash flow. Now, statement of cash flow is a really good financial document to have, but many small businesses don't and they don't know about it. So we kind of give you a pass for that. But your balance sheet and your profit and loss, guys, you gotta have that because that's everything. Everything. And when we're done talking about these four sectors of your SWOT analysis, then I'm going to talk to you guys about recommendations. So part of your recommendations, when we get to that, I'll explain to you guys how you can solve that lack of knowledge on finances in your business, which is a threat.
Exactly. So that's pretty much the outline of a SWOT analysis, and it's very important. And I say this, Gilbert, I recommend this to my customers, and especially now at the very beginning of the year. A SWOT analysis of your business and a SWOT analysis of you personally, the business owner.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes,
So the
yes,
business
yes,
is the overview, but what are some of you're separate from your business. What are some of
yes,
your strengths? What are some of your weaknesses and challenges
yes,
that you need to overcome based upon looking back over lessons learned?
yeah,
And then what are the opportunities that are there for you personally? And then what are some of the threats that could derail you? Because if you just like we just talked about health,
yes,
that's what I'm talking about. Your mental health, your physical health, your well-being, your
yeah.
family structure,
Mm-hmm.
the roof over your head.
Yes, yes,
All of
yes,
those things is you personal. So take a stock of you and take a stock of your business, because you can't perform if you have all these other stressors and health issues that's going to prevent you from being successful. So very, very important.
and here's another threat, a few other threats that I want you guys to think of. Because again, many small business don't think about entrepreneurs. I'm out there in the trenches every day, so I'm seeing these things. I'm thinking about them. So, as a small business, you may need help, right?
Mm,
So, the help that you don't have, that's a weakness.
mm-hmm,
But when you do get that help, if you don't vet that help thoroughly, you could be
mm,
getting someone that is not good for your business. You could be getting someone in there who's going to cause you a lot of headaches, a lot of pain. That's a threat to your business. It's a threat to the revenues you're going to make. That person may come into your business and they're on the phone every day talking to their friends. They're on the internet, on the IG, all of that, talking to people instead of doing the work. Now you're losing money because you're paying that person, I don't know, $50 an hour or whatever, right? I don't know,
mm-hmm.
so you're paying 50 an hour, but that person's spending, at least 4 hours of the 8 hour day on IG, on the internet, talking to their friends. So in essence, you're getting 50% of their labor time and you're paying them for 100% of their time. So that's no good. So that's something you want to check out. So make sure you vet. So that could be a threat to your business. So you want to make sure you check that out. The second thing is you may hire someone and because they're misbehaving, you decide to fire them, but you don't understand how to go about firing a person, an
Mm,
employee.
mm,
That
mm,
could be a problem for you too. That's a threat to your business. Because remember this, if you're operating business in the state of California, the state of California is employee friendly. So they're going to take the side of the employee, not yours. And that's another thing. If you have employees, make sure you're paying into the EDD fund, into the Department of Labor's fund, because if you're not paying into that, and then you terminate an employee, a full-time employee, and then they go to EDD to collect unemployment, and they say, "Oh, we don't have this company registered in our system." Guess what? That's going to start an investigation in your company by EDD, and that may not be good for you guys. So that's another threat. Okay.
those are threats, and not and also making sure you know what the new laws are that pertain to you and your business. They every year, in January 1st, there are new laws in every state, but especially the state of California, that
Yeah.
may affect you. So
Yeah.
very important. And if you guys want to see what's going to happen to an employee that thinks that they have complete latitude of firing and hiring and doing whatever the heck they want with their employees, continue to watch the saga of Twitter, and you're gonna find out how California operates when it comes to EDD law.
Yep. Yep. They don't play, guys. They don't play. I've seen EDD. I've seen entrepreneurs hire their family members, and the family members decide to act up, and then they fire the family member. The family
Yep.
member go to EDD to file unemployment and file a claim against their family members. Right.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so those things happen, guys. You
They
want to be
happen.
you want to be ready, and that's why your paperwork is so critical for your paperwork to be in order. Okay, there is a form. There's a form that called DE9C. D as in David, E as in Earl, slash the number 9, and then the letter C for Charles. Okay, if you don't have that form in place, if you have employees, if you don't have that form in place, meaning you list all your employees and you list their, I guess you list their social and all of that on there, and you submit it to EDD. EDD has to have a record of that, and you're also going to list how much you're paying them per hour, or their hourly wage. If you don't have that, you can get in trouble, because if you're calling this person your employee, then you got to have it documented somewhere, guys. So those are
Exactly.
threats. Those are threats that could destroy your business.
Exactly. And understanding, and another thing while you're on that topic is understanding the AB5, what justifies what is classified as a 1099 contractor and who is an employee. So, that was passed in 2021. Actually, it was passed in 2020. We just were going through a crisis. And so a lot of companies are actually feeling the blunt of that now.
Yeah.
So, next step 3
Yes.
is setting your small goals. And
Mm.
here's why this is important, because I think personally, if you establish goals quarterly and make them small enough and reachable, and but they're part of the larger long-term goals, then you will be able to actually achieve those goals. So
Yes.
make sure that you are setting reaching goals, that you have a greater chance of accomplishing than just one long-term goal for the full year and no steps in between. So every quarter have a goal, and work toward completing that goal that is ultimately part of the bigger goal.
And an example of that, guys, and I'm sure you guys are wondering, what are they talking about? Short term goal and long term? What is that? Well, let me give you an example. So let's say this year, 2023, you're telling yourself that, hey, I want to make $500,000 this year in sales. 500,000, $500,000 in sales, right? That's what you want to make. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 500,000, you're going to divide it into 12. There are 12 months in the year. You divide the 500,000 into 12, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now you got the amount, the 500,000 divided by 12. So now you want to divide that amount into 4, because you got it for each week. You want to know how much you need to make. So now each week you take the amount from the 12, and then you divide that further into 4. So now that will tell you how much you should be making per week. So then that's how you're going to build your staff, build your team to go after that amount weekly. So then if you stay on goal, stay on target for that, for the month, for the year, then you can achieve that 500,000 a year if you can break it up into smaller. We call it bite size. We break it up into bite size, smaller pieces that you can manage. Okay.
Right. And Greg indicated setting up milestones toward those goals and indicate dates, set
Yeah.
up milestone dates that you'll reach a percentage of whatever
Yeah.
that annual goal is. That will
Yeah.
help you get there closer, and keep you on track of
Right.
what your performance is.
Right.
And he's recommending dividing it by 52, so it's on a weekly basis. For some
But
people, you might need to see it in a really tiny size bites.
which is good too, but I thought if we did it by 12 first, then at
Hmm.
least they'll see how much they can make per month, and then if they break down each month into 4 parts, now they'll see how much they make per week. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And that's
So
the best way to really be able to increase your revenue, is to break it down, not just give yourself a big, huge number and you have no clue how you're going to get to that big, huge
yeah.
number. Now
Right.
you can see, oh, I need to sell X amount of books at this price during this time. But not just that, how many other products and services, all of the things that you are actually selling, all
Yeah.
your little widgets,
Yeah.
each one of them have a set goal on how many you need to sell. in order to get to that bigger number.
See what he said right here? He said, yes, divide the annual by 12, then divide the annual by 52, Mr. Accountant.
Well, that's our financial guy over here.
Yeah, our financial whiz. Hey, I take a back seat to you, Mister Financial Correspondent. But yeah, guys, that's a good way of doing your short-term goal and your long-term, because that's really going to help you. That's really, really going to help you if you did it that way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And the next one is, and this is your other favorite one, Gilbert. You talk about this all the time, is
Yeah.
identifying your key performance indicators, your KPIs to
Oh
track your
yeah.
success. So you want to take that away.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing that you mentioned that, because I was gonna throw this in earlier when you were talking, but
Uh-huh.
I felt it would be good to wait until this part. So
Okay.
your key performance indicators for folks. What you want to do is you want to look at what's in the business that performing well. What aspects in your business? As you know, we use our proprietary software called Small Biz Pro to help our small businesses become more competent, to become efficient, and become business ready, contract ready, loan ready, certification ready, and grant ready. That's an amazing tool that we use with our businesses, because it tells you what documents you need to have to run your business and what systems you need to have in place to make it work. And we provide resources also, which would be contracts and grants that you can access. Okay. So once you have that in place, you'll be able to look at key performance indicators. And what does that mean? So you want to look at certain areas in which you're performing. Now, Crystal is good at talking about these things in our classes. So I want to share that with you guys. One of the key things that Crystal talks about all the time is you want to have multiple streams of revenues, multiple streams. So if you're selling products and you can sell services as well, so now you want to see how many different variations of products you can sell, how many variations of services you can sell. So let's say we have 7, because Crystal usually indicate you want to have about 7 to 9 streams of revenues in your business in order to help you to become successful. So what key performance indicators? You want to look at each one of those streams of revenues to see which one is performing well, which one is not performing so well, and why it's not performing well or why it is performing well. So those are some key performance indicators you want to look at. You see what I mean? Now, in my business, I provide a variety of services because I'm professional services. So one of my services doing certifications for small business. One of my services is to do workshops and webinars. One of my services is consulting. One is coaching. And then one is program management, where I manage certain contracting program for public works agencies or large companies who get large government contracts and need me to come in and help them. So let's look at just those 5 areas, because there's more, but let's look at those 5 areas. What I try to do when I measure to see which ones is bringing in the most money, those are usually the program management. That's bringing in a lot more money. It's more efficient. Then you've got the certification, which is another one. A lot of small businesses want certification, so that's another part of it. And then the workshops and webinars, those are huge. So those are my 3-star performers right there. So if I'm looking at, okay, if I want to make $500,000 for the year, and I'm going to break that up into 52 weeks, like my financial advisor, Mr. Greg Sneed, said, right? I'm going to break up 500,000 52 weeks. Then I want to see for each week which one of those 3 primary revenue sources are bringing in money. And that's how I measure those key performance indicators. The ones that are a little weaker, then I look at what I need to do to strengthen those and bring them up so I can achieve my goal. So that's a good little breakdown of what the key performance indicators are in your business. Now, some of you may have other areas in your business that you may want to look at, but I'm going to let my co-host speak a little bit, because she's coming from the financial piece, and there's so many aspects to that you guys need to know.
Exactly. But if you don't really understand how you're doing and how well you're doing, again, when you set that number, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
annual amount that you wanted to make, you have to monitor that. That's what we're
Mm-hmm.
talking. And so you have to see whatever those products and services you're selling, if you have the opportunity to do both or the different services as Gilbert talked about, which one is more lucrative than the others. Some of them you might have to shelf, right? Some of them,
Yeah.
and it's really easy to do that when you sell retail, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
may have a product that is doing extremely well. Um, and really trending, and you're making your most of your sales there, but you have other products that are sitting on the shelf taking up space, right? Or you've over purchased a product and it didn't move out at all, right?
Yeah.
So again, know that from an asset base, that is an asset, and so it has a monetary value to it. And if it's sitting on the shelf and not getting sold, you just, it's money sitting on the shelf not
Right.
getting sold. So
Right.
you want to make sure you're seeing how well each whatever you're selling, how well it's performing, so that you
Mm-hmm.
can make adjustments and put something in that may sell better than that one, and analyze that. Not, don't let it just sit there and take up space, and you're not deriving any revenue for it, because you're not going to get to those numbers. Everything in the scope of what you're selling should be being a revenue driven. It should be able to drive revenue to help you reach that overall number. So if it's not, you might need to make some tweaks. You may have to have a sale. You might need to do something, a special that is going to generate revenue from those particular products or services that you offer.
And you must be able to measure the success of it, guys. Measure it. You put systems
Right.
in place to measure it, especially if you're a product based business. If you're a product based business, that means you're selling products. That means you have to buy inventory to sell that product. Then you want to make sure, okay, you're not over purchasing inventory, because some small businesses buy too much inventory and then they can't move it. So it's sitting on the shelf. Now, some of this inventory could be perishable. It may have a life expectancy of maybe 30 days. Some may
Mm-hmm.
be a little longer. And then again, some of the inventory that you purchase, based on how the marketplace is, some of the inventory you purchase, maybe you may purchase it at a very high price, but now you're trying to sell it, and the marketplace, the market demand for it is a little lower. So now you gotta reduce your price, put a discount on it. So now you're losing money. So your KPI will tell you that that wasn't a very successful approach to handling that inventory. So you may later on want to buy a little less inventory, move it, purchase again, move it, purchase again. But you don't want to buy it and shelve it, guys. A lot of small businesses I know, they buy inventory and say, okay, I'm going to buy 6 months worth of inventory and stock it on the shelf. Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Exactly. And Greg has advice. What is the margins for each one of the products? Now,
Yes,
you don't know
yes.
what those margins are if you don't have an accounting system. You have to be able to go back and analyze on a monthly basis how well what you're selling, what you're providing and selling to your customer, how well they're doing. So if you have a good accounting system, like
Yeah,
a QuickBooks, and you run your P&L, you can actually run that report so that it actually gives you your percent, your percentage of your margin of percentage, and
yeah,
you can actually see what that is. And or you can do it manually and do a calculation, but so much easier if you actually have an accounting system
yeah,
in place. So very, very important. Next is step 5, and step 5 is prioritizing. um you've already set up your goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals. Now you need to do some prioritizing to those goals, and establish a strategic plan or initiative to move those plans out. We can plan all day to next year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you don't set some priority, a priority to it, it's not going to get done. I
Right.
will tell you guys that if you don't have, again, it's all about um, the milestones, the measuring, the performance, but you have to prioritize to make sure what's the first step, one, two, three, in order to make it happen and for you to stay on top of it.
And what I'd recommend, guys, is to go ahead and put your email addresses into the chat, and we will send you a template for a milestone plan. A milestone plan is really key. Every business should have one every year. So you start at the beginning of the year, and most of the times a milestone plan is for 18 months, 12 to 18 months. But what we'll do is for you, we'll do one for 12 months. So you have a milestone plan set up for over a 12-month period of time. So you can see what you need to achieve each month. So when you get to the 12th month, you'll see if you're achieving your goal, you're on target, or if you need to make any adjustments. So go ahead and put your emails in the chat for us, and I will send you a template of a milestone that I've developed for many of our small businesses, guys. That will be amazing for you. Now, the milestone plan will also help you to prioritize the things that you need. So let's say, for example, you want to make $500,000 by the end of 2023. What would be a priority for you? What should you start with? Well, first you need to know who has contracts, who's offering contracts, and then how are you going to get access to those contracts? So as we know, it's easier to get a government contract than private contracts because the rules for government contracts is more favorable to small business than it is with a private contract. Private contract, they can just give it to their friends and they won't tell you why they give it to the friends. With the government, they'll explain why certain things happened or it didn't happen. And you can request the meeting. So what you want to do, guys, is to make sure you prioritize that. Okay, to make $500,000 a year, I need to do business with the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, LA Metro, or the state of California. Right? So now you got those 4 targets. Now, which one do you want to prioritize over the other? Those are things we can help you with and show you how to do that. Certain agencies are a little easier to access than others. Now, the next step is, what do they need from you as a small business to get access to these contracts? Well, maybe they want you to become certified. So the certification process might be something that you put next in line. And that's something you're going to work on to get it. And in getting that, you work on your preparedness. What documents do you need to get prepared to go after your certification and also go after contracts? So you see how it tapers down, guys. You got the priority chart, and it goes from top all the way down to bottom, and it takes you to everything you need to achieve that goal and that objective.
Excellent. Exactly. And at the same time, while you're doing that, Gilbert, you're considering all the resources you have to make sure that you can accomplish the goal. You might
Yes.
have to bring in others to help you do that. You might have to build a bigger network. You might need to make very specific contacts with individuals. These are part of the strategy, and that's
Yeah.
where we are next is how do we get these goals implemented? Well, one of the things we have to do is we have to have strategy. So yeah, we can say we want to make $500,000. We want to have contracts with the county. We want to have the contracts with the state of that you're living in. But what are the steps to get there? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to have a strategy. Do I need to have some key individuals that can get me to the person that's making those decisions? Do I have to have relationships? What do I need to have in order to be able to implement that goal? Right?
Right.
Is in that initiative, I have to have a strategy. So point 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the strategies that I need to make that happen. It
Right.
just doesn't happen by itself. I know, Court Jester over there.
Man, we need him on this show, man. We need him. We need him. Greg at thecourtjester.com.
So, gotta have strategy. And for some people that's difficult, so
Yeah.
that may be one of those. When you have done your SWOT analysis, you may find that you're not very good at strategy. There
Yeah.
are people that are extremely strategic,
Yeah.
so you might need to one, hire a business coach,
Yeah.
or find yourself a mentor who
Yeah.
is an expert in the space that you're trying to get into.
Mm-hmm.
You may need outside assistance, so that's part of the strategy. Is how do I get to the people that can help me get to achieve and to make this goal happen?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
exactly. So in that contract world, Gilbert is the man. I don't care who else says they the man. Gilbert is the man. So you may be able to invest in yourself, invest in your business, and be able to contract him to be able to help walk you to the steps.
That's right.
Greg says the domain name is taken, so he can't have
Shucks.
Cortex. But very, very important, guys. Next is the final step is step 7, holding yourself accountable.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you may at this point, because sometimes we're not very good at holding ourselves accountable. So
Mm-hmm.
you may want to find yourself an accountability partner,
Yep.
someone,
Or the business coach that will
or the
hold you
business
accountable.
coach. The business coach is an excellent accountability partner. Trust
That's
me.
right.
And you don't want the business coach that's a yes man or woman.
That's
You
right.
want you want a business coach that will give it to you straight. Hey,
That's right.
Daisy.
Hey Daisy, welcome to the Business Zone, Daisy. Appreciate you.
She's telling you Happy New Year.
Oh, gracias, gracias.
So get a plan, get a partner, and a progress to confidently grow your business to that next level.
Yeah,
It's very, very important, guys. We want to make sure 2023, and we really need to take hold of this now, because that recession is looming
yeah,
in the next couple of quarters of this year. So we
yeah.
want to be better. We want to be able to know exactly how our business is performing, but we want to be able to nip it in the bud if there's going to
Right.
be some areas that we need to take
Ad-
in account,
address,
address early
address.
on,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
we have a strategic solution to how we can make sure we can reach those milestones. So
And an example of that is we know that every small business has an issue with finances. You need some funding to run your business. So many of you are thinking, oh, maybe I should take a loan, maybe we should take a grant or whatever. A line of credit is really a good way, guys, for you guys to finance your business, fund your business. But in order to get that line of credit, you got to be ready. You got to have all your documents in place. You got to know what your business credit score is. How many of you guys know what your business credit score is? You probably don't. Now, if any of you got a Dun and Bradstreet number, chances are you're connected with Dun and Bradstreet, and they have your credit there, so they'll tell you if your business score is in order. Just so you know, anything over 75. So your business score is rated from 1 to 100. That's how it is. Your FICO score is from, I don't know, 200 to 840, I think.
right,
So with the business score, it's from 1 to 100. So if you are at 70, anywhere from 75, 76, 75, 76 to 100, you're in good standing, guys. Your business credit is in good standing if it's from 75 to 100. So those are things you want to start looking at if you want to start leveraging lines of credit to run your business. So those are key things that and the you should be first in line to setting up an appointment with Crystal.
all righty.
So
My
she can
inner
take a look at your balance sheet, your profit and loss. It's broken.
Yeah, no, it's okay now. It's going through its moments.
Okay. Okay. So So just so you know, guys, you want to make sure if for accountability, that would be a good way for you guys to start taking accountability of your bookkeeping, your financing. And of course, you're going to have an expert like my co-host, Crystal Mitchell. She will help walk you guys through the process, and she can show you ways of getting the services done by enrolling you in certain programs that they may pay for your services. So you need to set up an appointment there and find out what programs will do that for you.
All righty. Now, I would be remiss. So, those guys are the 7 steps to being prepared and starting your planning process. So, take heed, and be ready. We want to be ready. We don't want to be getting ready. We want to be ready.
Yeah,
Some of the areas, Gilbert, and we're going to close out with these little suggestions and ideas for you, is streamlining your business productivity. Right,
yeah, yeah.
we can sit around and, you know, I know for me, I had to last year in order to get more out of my day. I had to implement some processes that made my life much easier. One
Mm-hmm.
of those was I have actually implemented a client intake form. I
Yes.
created it on Canva, and before the client actually gets to me, they complete that, especially when it comes to me doing their accounting for them,
Mm-hmm.
or them looking and to be able to set up their accounting, the foundation of their financial status. And I have them complete this form, answer a lot of questions, and it helps streamline my initial conversation with them, so we are all on the same and the same track. Secondly, was I implemented online scheduling. It was one of the best things that I could have done last year, because I would not be able to keep up with my schedule if I did not already have. And so, for a scheduling link for every organization that I do consulting for, I actually have a link, and I have a time allocated for each one of those organizations. And yes, online scheduling rocks, man.
I feel you, co-host. I feel you.
Gilbert, I was finding myself double booked. All kinds of chaos
Yeah,
was going
yeah,
on. And so I found it, once I set up that online scheduling, I stay out of it. All I do is send a link,
yeah,
and with those links, they can schedule and get on the calendar. First
yeah.
come, first serve. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to implement and put people in. But the other part of that, Gilbert, is I'm able to schedule my personal time and
Yes,
block that out, so that
yes.
and it's on the calendar. So very, very important, online scheduling. The other is right, set yours up with Zoom. The other thing, and Greg and I didn't even put this on my list, but Greg and I have found, Greg has one tool and I have another tool. And Gilbert, you have to get this tool. It
Yes.
is a digital business card.
Oh, someone introduced me to that about a year ago. And remember, I put it in my old phone, and then I got locked out of the phone, so I couldn't
Right.
find
So I use a service called Hi, and I can set up, I have Business Zone, I have Recycling Black Dollars, and then I have the community briefing, and 4 different things, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on Hi, I am able to, and I'll go over and see if I can find it for you guys.
Yes.
Hi, is I can set up a digital business card for each one of them. It actually has a QR code.
Mm-hmm.
And so all they have to do is let me see if I can find it. It's called Hi Hello. And all they have to do is click take their phone out, click the picture, the QR code, and now I have their information and they have my information. I don't have to dig around in purses and briefcases and carry any of this with me, and it has been absolutely wonderful. And I recommend everyone get themselves a digital business card. Greg is using a system called Popula. I think it's Popula. And I also have another one that I started and I kind of like High Better. It's called Ling, Linq. You can
Mm-hmm.
also set it up. But with Greg's, the Popula, you actually can wear a band that has a QR code and they can wave their phone over your band and get your
Oh,
contact
I
information.
like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
and you can have it can be on a key ring, makes it so simple. No longer have to carry business cards. So much easier. Um, and then Gilbert's Small Biz Pro. Uh, for document management, time management, uh, awesome product.
Contracts and grants.
Contracts and grants and research information and marketable information, all the things you need in order to make your life more productive and to manage your time better. So,
And I give you guys a link in there that you can use. Go to that link and you can set it up for free. I'll allow you to do it for free, but you got after you set it up, you got to send me an email to say, yes, I was watching the Business Zone and I got this link from the Business Zone, and I'll go in and I'll give you free access to this platform. Okay. So remember, use the Business Zone. You state that you are watching us today, and we'll set you up.
and also, Gilbert, you want to put on how they can reach out to you to get the KPI tracker.
Yes, 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 definitely. Definitely. I'll do that. I'll put it in the chat right now.
So with that, guys, and you can go find you can find a SWOT analysis anywhere on the internet. There's plenty of them out there. There's actually here's a link as well. I'll put that.
Also, there's a SWOT analysis also in Small Biz Pro. So when they
Okay,
register, yeah,
there
when
you
they
go.
register and you create your back office, the first the bit what Small Biz Pro does, it divides your business into four sections. So the first section is business planning. The second one is business development and general operations management. So when you go to the second tab, you will see a sample. I'd scroll down to the bottom. You'll see a sample SWOT analysis in there, and it will walk you through the process, so you guys can access it and do your own thing.
All right, and he said KPI, and he offered something. You offered something else. He offered you the Small Biz Pro, Greg. So that is our kick off the brand new year of 2023 with steps on making sure that you reach your goals and that you're better prepared for 2023 and anything and any crises that may arise in this year. But most importantly, you're able to reach and increase your revenue goals, expand your business, preparing yourself. So when you expand your revenue goals, one of the things you're doing is being able to now put yourself in a position where you can hire employees so the employees can manage and run the mundaneness of your business, and you can go out there and sell your products and services and find new contracts and open up yourself so that you can do what you're really skilled at doing, right? And trust me, guys, um to have a multi-million dollar business, you need to be able you have to have employees. You cannot do that by yourself. You have to have employees. So that's what we're preparing you for, is to be able to scale your business and have your business become much more successful, increase your revenue base so that your business can grow and be successful at that.
If you're a small business where you're starting off as a sole proprietorship, and sometimes as an LLC, the first year, chances are the first year you may not need employees because it's just you and you can run around, do things. But as of the second year, going into the third year and beyond, you want to start considering getting some help. You're going to need someone to even answer your phones, do some admin work for you, do some outreach, do some research. You're going to need someone. Now, you may not have the funds to hire a full-fledged person, but that's when you contact folks and you can network and you pay them, maybe an hourly rate to provide certain services for you. And those are just little things that can help you guys to achieve your objectives. Because as a business owner, you are the CEO. You're the ones going out there shaking hands and meeting people and trying to cut deals. So you need someone back in the office to start managing the oversight of the office, making sure your paperwork are uploaded in the system like Small Biz Pro, make sure your paperwork is ready, make sure for certifications you got all the key documents you need. As a small business, guys, every one of you should think about getting insurance for your business
Mm.
insurance. A lot of you don't think about it until the last minute when it's too late. Now, achieve everything, officer.
True
so
that.
so when you get your business insurance and an opportunity, a contract opportunity comes up, it makes it so much easier. Like, for example, with me, for example, these two contracts I told you I got, one of the things they wanted from me is they want business insurance. So, because I already have my insurance, all I have to do is to add them to my insurance certificate as additional insured and then send them a copy of the certificate. Now, bam, I'm in. I'm ready to go. So they're ready to hire me and bring me on the project. So I want you guys to think of that as well, guys.
And I also, Greg and Greg, we're gonna have you on. I don't know if you're available next week, but I think we do need to talk about risk management. And
Yeah,
one of those things is life insurance,
yeah,
disability insurance,
yeah.
long-term health insurance, all of those things. Because again, this is one of the things that we just talked about is your health is part of your wealth,
Yeah.
and making sure that your family is taken care of so you can operate with a peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
can't do that if you don't have your personal house in order. So Greg, if you're available next week and you want to come on and let's talk about that, that would be absolutely awesome. But I do think it's important. um Yes, Dr. White Powell. Congratulations, Cosette. I don't think you had that last name the last time I spoke with you. And welcome to the Business Zone. Colette is actually a CPA. And so, for tax benefits and what you need to be looking out for this year, Colette, you want to put your contact information in? I don't know if you're taking new clients, but if you are, please add that in. And we'd love to have you on to talk about what new tax laws, if there are any, that our clients or our followers and listeners should be aware of when they do their taxes this year. So if you are, please let us know if you're available, and but put your contact information in. There you go. Miss Colette put her, Dr. Powell put her information in myfinancialhome.com. So we want to make sure you guys are prepared. And this is all part of doing business, is being ready, right? And so that includes making sure you have your life insurance in place.
What happened, co-host? Are you frozen?
And that you're ready for taxes. Well, Gilbert.
It sounded like you were frozen there. I'm going, wait a second, where did she
Oh,
go?
okay. Yeah, we
So,
want to make sure you guys are ready.
so Dr. Cosette, yeah, we need to bring you and Greg on the show. We need to have you guys on here so you can talk about all the wonderful things you do for small business. So please contact Miss Crystal here. So this is her number right here. I'm sure you already have it, Cosette. So just give her a call so we can schedule you guys, man. 2023 is going to be amazing. We can't wait to have you guys on the show to talk about all your great expertise.
Awesome. And Dr. Powell has she has a seminar coming up, the virtual tax summit for small businesses. So there you go. Greg, there's his number right there. I don't know if that's his real number because he didn't put his area code. Greg, put your contact information there, dude. And so with that, guys, it's been a great we're excited for 2023, and we're going to be bringing, for the first couple of we're going to be we're going back to our we will be addressing and going back to our balance work life relationship series that we're
Balancing entrepreneurship with relationship and love.
Yeah, but we're also going to be spending some time making sure that you are ready for 2023. So we'll be bringing on some other experts that can share and talk to you about that. We also got a segment that we're going to. Gilbert and I talked about this over Kwanzaa, tying in our business coaching with the Kwanzaa principles and
Yep.
making that you guys are actually applying those Kwanzaa principles to your life so that we can really make a change in our communities and in our lives and understanding. We want you guys to be ready. So it requires us. We're gonna be doing some more class and sessions. So join us next week. It's been awesome. We hope you guys have a very successful 2023. And we will see you guys back here next Friday at 3
Now,
o'clock.
now, don't forget to go to YouTube and click the subscribe button, guys, so we can send you materials. And also at Facebook, go to Facebook, click the subscribe button, so we can send you information. And then you guys will become a part of the Business Zone team. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So, Cosette, I'll reach out to you, and Greg, I'll send you information so you guys can let me know what your availability is in the month of January, and we'll get you on. What is the name under the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert?
That's right. That's right. The Business Zone, Crystal and Gilbert. And if you go to YouTube, you'll see a lot of our other shows that we've done over the years. We've been doing this since 2016. So, and Dr. Cosette, you've been on many of our, well, one of our show at least,
Yeah.
in the past when we were operating from our radio station. So, please don't hesitate to come back and be a guest on our show. We'll love to have you. You were wonderful the last time, and we can't wait to have you impart more financial data and information to our audience.
Right, and we're completely virtual now, so you don't even have to leave your town, your home. You can do it right there at your house.
and Dr. Greg Sneed, we're also looking forward to having you on the show live, sir.
All righty, guys. So, ready to sign off, Gilbert? We
We're
will
ready.
see you.
We're ready to sign off. So we'll see you guys next week.
So remember, guys, we're streaming live on Facebook, all of my Facebooks, Gilbert's Facebooks, YouTube, LinkedIn. We actually are streaming on LinkedIn as well. But go over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We really want to grow our numbers. And we really want to take the show is really going some amazing places in 2023. And we want to take you guys right there along with us. So you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the no rain while you can, because I think it's coming back on Sunday.
Oh,
but enjoy
Lord.
Tomorrow. All right, Gilbert.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an